All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we actually have a phenomenal producer. We have NateOGDetroit right here, live on the line from, of course, Detroit, Michigan, straight out of the 313. How are you doing this evening, Nate?
I'm blessed, family. How are you doing today?
Oh, man, doing best I can possibly be, man. Just enjoying my Friday night, interviewing amazing talent like yourself, and just getting ready to take on the weekend.
Yeah, same here, man. So I was taking on the weekend, man. So.
But also, man, I know you're a busy guy, Nate, so I'm going to dive right into this broadcast, man. But I want to take you back to the very early, humbling beginnings of your amazing music career this far, man. I read that you have actually always been around the music scene because of your father that was actually a bass guitarist. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about that, and of course, what influenced you to venture into hip-hop rather than going into your father's footsteps as a bass player?
Well, the first answer to the first question is my first introduction to music was through my father. I was like at about 7 or 8 when my mother, which both of my parents are deceased when I was 18, but she had threw him a surprise birthday party at the house. And him and my uncle Emery, who used to be in a band together, they played the guitars. So seeing and witnessing the power of music for firsthand, you know, and how the shades of mood and energy in the room is when initially I became interested in music. As far as hip hop, I grew up, you know, in hip hop. I'm born in 1980, so you know, hip hop came a few years before I was born, but that's what I was closest to that to. So it's just something I always loved. I always loved about the music. You know what I mean? From the production to the messaging at the time. That's pretty much that part.
And also as well, man, I actually read that your father was actually close friends with some of Motown record artists, such as the Original Temptation. I was wondering, did you ever get the opportunity to meet these iconic individuals? And if so, is there anything you actually learned from these individuals at such a young age meeting them?
No, I never got the chance to meet them. This was around, you know, I'm born in 1980, so my father had a store in Detroit, like a convenience store at the time. So he was doing that, and he was like friends with the Temptations, and actually brought them to meet my family in West Michigan, which is where he's originally from, way before I was born. So I didn't get a chance to meet them, you know what I mean? Because he quit doing the music by the time I was born. So that's kind of how that went. But I learned a lot from listening and, you know, performances and stuff like that. Because, you know, I grew up watching all that being in Detroit. So it did influence me and impact me very greatly.
And also as well, man, you have actually done a lot of work alongside Detroit hip-hop veteran and legend, DJ Butter. I was wondering if you can actually tell us the story behind that business partnership, and of course, how did yourself and Butter originally get connected?
Well, me and DJ Butter, we was friends before I actually met him. I believe it was 2012 when I went to my first Dealer Day Detroit held at the Fillmore. So I was in between time I was sending DJ Butter beats, and he would email me back or hit me on Facebook saying, you know what, Nate, you dope beyond dope. You should need to work with some artists. So we built a friendship upon meeting each other, you know what I mean, and became brothers and, you know, created a brotherhood like that. And, you know, based on my relationship with him, which is like a lot deeper than music, like a real good mentor and name and everything, and, you know, he kind of introduced me and my production, so I spread it around to other artists. So that's kind of where that bond got created. You know, based off on building proper relationships with him, you know, and taking tutelage from DJ Butter, shout out Butter, you know.
And I gotta say, man, definitely shout out DJ Butter, man. Such a phenomenal individual, man. He's worked with so many countless individuals, man. He could probably write a book of just names of the people he's actually collaborated with.
Yeah, he's a legend, man. I always tell him, I always try to give him his roses, man. Every time on Facebook, you know, he's in our little Facebook messages when we get the chance to talk. And I always tell him, man, I don't think you get the credit you deserve, so I believe in giving people their roses while they can still spell them, you know?
And also as well, during your career, you actually became a recruited member of A Voyagin music group. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about that business venture, and of course, what was it like just collaborating with them on several mixtapes and albums?
Well, that's my man. His name used to be Fozzie Free. He's an artist, and it was like a collective of producers and rappers. He goes by Ricky Adams now. This was back around 2012, 2013, and I was really honing my craft and getting better at, you know, my production technique. So, yeah, they were like the first artists to really jump on something. They're from Florida, like Opa, Miami area of Florida. His partner, ER the Kid Wonder, and Mark Millie. So through Father Free, he just kind of included me in because we all go back to YouTube days. That's where I got my start at posting videos of beats on YouTube. So, and that was a real good time, man. We all kind of, went our separate ways and things, but it's still fam. You know what I mean?
Let me ask, do you guys actually have any more plans to actually do some more work together, or was that just something you guys did, and of course now it's a thing of the past?
Well, hopefully you'd be able to work with Ricky Adams. You know what I mean? I lost touch with ER the Kid Wonder, but I'm being in contact with Ricky Adams pretty soon to see if we collab on something. Because he's a dope artist, man. I tell him all the time he's like really dope at his craft. You know what I mean? I'm eternally grateful for him because he was the first artist to take a chance on rapping on my production when I didn't feel myself was very good, but he still rapped on it. So.
And also, as well, you actually have a phenomenal LP volume series actually currently going on titled The MPC1 Sessions, where you actually have a phenomenal LP Volume 1 that's currently out right now. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about the MPC1 Sessions, and of course, will there be any other volumes in the future?
Yeah, the NPC1 Sessions is actually, I just created a project. I just got the intro done. I'm still adding tracks to it through Bandcamp. It'll be available for streaming once I get everything situated. But the story became, it's like angels, like I believe in angels. So a friend of mine named Glenn Harris, a.k.a. his producer name is Sinishore, had messaged me on Facebook saying he wanted to send me something. So he asked my note address. Little did I know, until I seen where the package was coming from, and I still didn't know, that he sent me a brand new Akai MPC1 drum machine sampler. So, that was just earlier this week, like around Monday this week. So, I've been learning that piece of equipment and putting out different volumes of it as time progresses. So the first volume, as soon as I get done with it, it'll be on Bandcamp, and then right when it's available on Bandcamp, I'll make it available for streaming on all platforms.
And also as well, I actually read something about yourself that you actually did an impressive of dropping 60 plus impressive projects in a 3-year span. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about that, and of course, like, how did you have all that time to do 60 projects in 3 years, man? Because I gotta say, that's definitely impressive.
Well, most of it was on days off from work. Usually I have the weekends off from work. So I kind of just work on projects or work on multiple projects actually at the same time. So when I'm making a beat, I have an idea for whatever project it belongs to, and I have a weird organizational thing on my computer where I just have folders named for projects, and I just dropping them in there as I go on. So it's just like practice. It's like how an athlete shoots jump shots, or lift weights for conditioning. It's like practice. I call my beat tapes practice or like my business cards. So even if I don't have anything that works with artists, I can still keep my name out there.
And also, as well, you are actually a member of a Gorilla Squad. I was wondering if you could actually tell our listeners a bit more about this squad, and of course, how did you actually get connected with the other members originally?
Well, the main founder is named King Gorilla, who was actually an artist, a dope artist out of, I believe, Fayetteville, North Carolina. We were a part of another collective before he started the Gorilla Squad called the Rap Alliance, which was based on the East Coast. The founder of that movement was my man Lyrics, Raymond Shinnery Jr. So, so me and Roy Itchy just started working and, stuff like that. He was like, man, I'm just going to push you down with the team as far as, since you're already like fam anyway, because we got stuff that, some stuff has been released and some stuff hasn't, but I have at least more of the stuff that never saw the light of day. So, yeah, that's how that all started. So, me and King Gorilla are actually working on a project. Me producing him rapping, and so I'm hoping to get that together pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to that too.
And also as well, you currently have your own blog titled NateOG's Chronicles. I was wondering where you actually interview individuals as well on the blog. I was wondering what actually got you into blogging, and of course, where can we actually read your material today?
Okay, the blog spot is actually NateOGDetroit, like short for Detroit. .blogspot.com. The idea came from that. I used to be an affiliate writer for the Down Rock, I believe it's called Down Rock Records, which was actually out of Canada, and they were an affiliate of underground hiphop.com. Simon, I believe his name was Simon Phillips. He was the guy who would post a lot of my beat tapes and stuff, and he asked me, he's like, man, I want to make you an affiliate of the site. They had their own page, and that relationship kind of went a little bit left, and he said it wasn't like really what he was going for as far as the underground scene. So that is, like, you should go ahead and do your own blog, and I took that idea and ran with it. So it's been a love of mine. I love interviewing artists and producers and getting into the person instead of just not the music, which is a commodity that we consume. That's my stance on that.
And also as well, on October 31st, Halloween 2022, you actually released via YouTube Summer Breeze, the original unreleased version. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this original unreleased variation of Summer Breeze, and of course, what made you decide to drop the original masters?
Well, the track was actually inspired by my favorite artist of all time, Tupac Shakur, rest in peace. I had done various versions of it, and I had it to sit on my hard drive, but going through my catalog of beats and my equipment, I was like, man, I may as well just release it as a single. So that's actually what prompted that. It was one of my most slept-on beats, I feel, that a lot of artists pass on. So that's actually what prompted me to release it, like 5 years later. So.
And I have to ask, man, what is next for yourself, NateOGDetroit, man? Is there anything we happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? What we still got you here live on the Canadian FM dial this evening?
So I got the album. I talked about the album with Roy Entry. I got another album I'm producing or co-producing with Phase the Blue Lagoon. We're sort of talked about that. That's going to be called, I believe, Metamorphosis. I got stuff in the can with Duke Will Rock, who's signed to DJ Butter's label, Crazy Noise Productions. I'm also producing his debut album, so I'm working on that as well. Also, I got Dear Motor 62 with Duke Will Rock's cousin, Watch Them Key, that I'm producing top to bottom. So that pretty much sums it up as far as with artists. And then, of course, a lot of instrumental projects in between time.
And also, Nate, this is the time to interview quickly that I give a chance for the individual that does slide into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. But most of all, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything NateOGDetroit currently has going on.
Okay, the YouTube is NateOGDetroit with exclamation part productions. Not a S at the end, but a Z. That's the official artist YouTube channel. My Instagram is _real_NateOGDetroit. And as far as shout-outs, it's going to be DJ Butter, DJ Dez, Troy Davis, Coco Butterfly, legendary Mantra La Peace, Beach Glory Brooks, Nick Speed, my man, so many in the city of Detroit, Super MC, my man who really took a chance on me as far as signing me as the in-house producer, Kodak and May from GFG Entertainment. All the homies that support, and all the people that support real dope hip-hop, salute to all y'all worldwide. And a special shout out to Canada.
And I got to say, first and foremost, Nate, thank you so much, man, for just giving us a little bit of your time here this Friday evening, man. It definitely was an honor to speak with you, and hopefully down the line we can make this happen again in the future, man. But for now, definitely have yourself a phenomenal night, and of course, a kick-ass weekend as well.
You too, family, and thanks for the support. Thanks for everything. Anything you need, I got you.
Hey, man, same goes for you as well, man. My DM and phone line are always open, man. Thank you so much, Nate, and have yourself a wonderful night.
You too, Sam. Thank you.